Everyone, please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the United States and Canadian National Anthem for Frank and Cheektowaga.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? For our Canadian friends, we're going to do the Canadian anthem.
Frank. So it's for you, Frank. Frank in Manitoba.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you to the two troops and Doug Allen.
Good job.
Folks, welcome to episode 100 of Trainwreck tonight. Thank you for everyone here in attendance at Studio D, along with everyone tuning in here on Twitter and Instagram Live. Tonight in studio, myself, Degenerate Al, Topher, Maniac, and the two best producers, DJ Supreme, producer Bers. Tonight's show sponsor, Washington Square. That's the place to be Thursday for the NFL Draft. Big specials, $3 well drinks, $3 bottle of beers, and $25 pitcher and a double order of wings. Let's go. So you're gonna let me do a special eye on
this is the rage. This is a 10th grade. We built from rock and race to the 10th phase. I twist my amen to the side, just slide. Although on the Gucci bucket with the fly, super fly. Wow, this other crap ain't on to shut it down. It ain't so country though, nigga. This ain't no Boma Pow. I'm sorry to slaughter. I keep my shit cooked to altar and altar to satisfy my people in Georgia and cross the border. And across the border, the essays are getting smarter.
So Shutterbug, for the fans that tuned in to our first show, that was our first ever song. And Maniac told me there's a much better song out there. I didn't believe it.
Well, all of a sudden I'm listening to music, you know, and I hear a song that's just talking about trains, riding them nonstop, and they never stop. So I'm like, I think we have a new song.
There was a lot of controversy when that.
There was. A lot of viewers and fans did not want the change, but I think it's worked out for the better.
Oh, you didn't respond.
I didn't like
you
it.
didn't respond to my text for like a week.
No, I left you on red.
Of course.
But our first ever episode was September 21st, 2016, on producer Bers' back porch. And who was first on the show? We had Tristan Ernst, was on the first ever episode. And real quick, what happened during that show? It was week 2 recap of the NFL. So fans out there, what happened week 2 with the Buffalo Bills? Does anyone remember? 2016. There was a loss, but with the coaching staff.
Fired Roman.
Fired Roman after the team picture. So that was the big top. Remember that show?
The team picture was really like the bad part of that. I mean, you could have at least told him before that.
And then also, shout out Scott Goodwin, was on the first couple episodes. Thank you, Scotty. And then what? So we go to episode 2. Katie Stewart. Been here from the start. Episode 2, talking about The Bachelor and Bachelorette. And then, what else?
Just clarifying, he's not going to walk through every single episode,
no,
guys.
I'm not doing
Just
that.
start at the beginning.
But let's talk back to producer Bers' house.
Dogs barking in the background.
Dogs barking, sirens. We were literally on his back porch. And at the time, I was a horrible public speaker, and I still kind of am. But I would get nervous when your mom would walk on the back porch, and we're practicing to do episodes. We weren't even doing live shows. We're practicing on your back porch, and I'm freaking out.
So Al used to be a huge like dry heaver when like pretty much every show happened. You'd be pacing down like on his porch. When we eventually got to this hallway in Studio D, you would just be like sprinting down the hallway for no reason at all, like ripping your shirt off. We've come a long way, like to wearing these like shirts with buttons. So
we went from the back porch to your garage on the back of his car, literally with a phone, and then we moved to your bedroom. And that's when you came into play.
That's when things got really serious, as they say, when we moved to Elber's bedroom. We took it to the next level, as things often go into the bedroom do.
And it's just what? And it's just and it's just what? 2 phones. And you kind of told me, you're like, Al, what the hell are we doing with 2 phones? We got to get better at this. And it was your idea to eventually do the Instagram live, Twitter live, or else I would have been doing what? Podcasts on SoundCloud with no video.
You would have been the yodeling Walmart kid. You had millions of followers already.
So the first big guess, UB basketball player Will Regan,
the accountant.
and then at a Bills game, the dildo thrower.
That was the big one, and that. Correct me if I'm wrong. That still has like the most like hits.
It does on any episode of all time.
People in Australia, it turns out, they're like huge into like people who throw dildos because you can see like the geography of people who tune into these episodes.
Yes.
And there were people from like Southeast Asia, Australia. They're just like, we gotta listen to this.
The episode was really big in the Eastern Hemisphere. It was really big.
So, but we were the first, podcast show, whatever you want to call it, to have the dildo thrower on our show. We had him that night. Luckily, you remember Tristan at work. Fellow coworker gives us his number, hooks us up. So that night we had him on. The next day, I was off of work, going through the internet, and all of a sudden, people are sending me. We were on what? Trainwreck Sports was on New York Post, New York Daily News, Yahoo. It blew up, and I was like, that was our first big breakthrough. I was losing it. Couldn't believe it. Like literally, we had like 2,000-3,000 hits.
It was insane. Just seeing you guys had just started. It hadn't even been 2 months that you've been at, and you're being cited by the New York Daily News, Yahoo. It was like, oh my God, these guys are on the map in more ways than one.
And then people started reaching out to us. Hey, we want to be on Trainwreck Sports. First 2 people to do that, Paul Peck and Joel Licata. And that's when the UB Syracuse rivalry with us really started to kick off.
We already had it going through our veins. You're bleeding blue. I'm obviously orange to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just ignited in us, though. You had Licata, who is still his true blue, and Peck, who is kind of a hybrid. He obviously does all the work for UB, but he did graduate and went to Cuse. And that was when, we started talking and we realized that this rivalry we had really was going to be able to play out on air.
Question, is Syracuse basketball scared of playing UB? Oh my God, I knew this was going to come up. I don't understand it. Why don't they do that once a year? Like, when you go Cuse UB playing at Syracuse. Yeah, there's Syracuse football in the mix too. It doesn't really benefit Syracuse to play UB. I would love to see it. If Syracuse basketball lost to UB, it would lose to little brother, you know what I'm saying, like that. It doesn't, you're right, it doesn't benefit them. And that's exactly what I've been telling them for the past decade.
And And look what happens. Syracuse UB happened this year.
I think Trainwreck Sports just wills these things into existence. Like, we're talking about this rivalry, they never play each other, all of a sudden they're on the schedule, and you're booking front row tickets.
Yeah, we had courtside seats.
Courtside seats.
You had great filming that day.
Yeah, anyone who saw that, Al was literally getting into fights with every Syracuse season ticket holder that there was throughout the entire game. Basically would have been kicked out if he wasn't in the front row. If they even in the third row, they would have given him the boot. Wait, wasn't the usher like on top of you? Like she wasn't even in the aisle. She was sitting next to Al. She started sitting next to Al.
And I remember I gave her the train wreck flag, and at the end of the game, she was like, "Just take this," because I hit a fan with it. And then at the end of the game, she gave it back to me. Not a real nice lady.
So as they often are in the 315.
And can we talk about too? I know he's not here, Joe Hammond. That was Wes Clark's first game ever for UB. You remember what happened that day? He was going into UB admissions, trying to get this player to play.
I remember you guys literally messaging the admissions like lady, and you're like, what do we have to do to get Wes Clark to be able to play? She's like, well, the paperwork has to be filed by 4. And Joe's like, I'll be there at 3:15.
I just picture someone, like this lady was just going in, she thought she was going in for like her normal Wednesday shift, and she just gets like blown up with like calls and emails from like random people in like Clarence and Cheektowaga just trying to get this player to play.
Yeah, you guys were following up with her like every 15 minutes. It was really like absurd.
Like they must have thought we were freaks. But in college basketball, it's a game of runs. This is when we went on our first 5-0 run. Guests started flowing through. Had our first NHL pro, Matt Barnaby. Then went to Sal Capaccio, Alan Green. What was the big thing that happened in the Alan Green episode? Remember the whole Khalil Mack situation?
At that point, Khalil Mack's brother hadn't been offered a scholarship to UB, which just seemed insane. A top 10 pick from UB and his brother doesn't even get a scholarship offer? That should seem like an automatic thing to happen. We called out Alan Green on it, and he kind of backpedaled. I was like, well, there's a lot of interesting things that go into that. You know, there's a lot of things behind the scenes, and sometimes offers there you don't even know. 2 days later, Khalil Mack's brother gets a full scholarship offer from UB. So, not saying the train makes it happen, but it definitely never stops.
So after Alan, Brad Ryder, then Howard Simon. So we got through the WGR crew. After that, Peck comes on again, and then we get our first ever Buffalo Bill to call in, and the wrecking crew, you know, we're on Allen, start at Brick Bar, then hit up Fally Allen, and who do we see? First, Richie Incognito, then Eric Wood.
You started looking for Deion Dawkins because you're just like, the whole line must be here if Richie and Eric Wood are here.
And, you know, all these girls are all over Richie.
It's insane.
All over Richie.
Eric's
by himself, so I go up to Eric Wood. Just gives me his number, and then Richie did the same thing, but Richie's ignored me ever since.
Well, you know who you had there that night, though? That was kind of like, that was the confidence vote that showed you could get it done? None other than our QB1, who just put us through a harsh workout this week, Joe Licata.
And he kind of he introduced us kind of a little
bit.
Yeah,
he puts a bridge. He's like, I know these guys, they're not complete psychos. Like, it's okay to talk to them for more than 3 seconds.
So since that show, I've reached out to Richie. I've gotten nothing back. I've reached out to Eric again. I think Eric Wood pretty much hates Buffalo now.
Oh, he's out of here.
He's
house is for sale.
House is for sale.
He says.
The guy is gone. And then we move into more of these summer months. We're heading into the 2017 football season. And one of the top moments ever, I feel like, on Trainwreck Sports. We're behind the bar. This is episode 63. And while we are live, Anquan Bolden retires. We thought it was a joke.
We go live. We're a minute in. We're no more than a minute in. Our followers go, Brad Curtis, real Brad Curtis on Instagram. Bolden just retired. So like when you start an episode, you think maybe, okay, he's just trying to throw us off with like something ridiculous. So I'm kind of deciding, I'm like, let me look this up. There's nothing else confirmed. It literally happened that minute. All of a sudden, no more than 2 minutes into an episode of Trainwreck Sports, Anquan Bolden is officially retired, and the 2017 Bills tank is well underway.
Yeah, we were talking about tank since when? Like, when did we start the tank talks? In January?
Yeah, we were talking about them all year, and then when those moves started happening in training camp, and they were getting rid of everybody, doing trades out of nowhere that nobody knew about, you thought the tank was a for sure thing.
This process was just a complete joke at the time.
Complete joke. Well, yeah, it wasn't real. We were just making fun of it. So then we go on our second 5-0 run. Like, the guests started coming in bunches. So our first ever guest in studio here was Brad Ryder, sleeping on our couch. He got fired from GR pretty much for, not setting his alarm, not waking up. He told us that on air. He did.
He did.
Come on. We talked
Great
about that.
guy. Love Brad.
So after Brad, we go Jeremy White's next. They're good friends, and hopefully very soon we'll have Brad and Jeremy in studio because they were the, nighttime duo back years ago.
We're going to reunite the Dream Team on Trainwreck Sports.
We're going to get them back. They already said they want to do it, so hopefully we can get them sometime in April. Then we get Beauvais from Channel 7, and then Jonah Javad. And then episode 74 was Sal Capaccio. Probably, and you guys might agree, one of our best episodes ever. I mean, that was phenomenal, what he did for us. Producer Bers, sideline Sal, clip number 2.
Is on Ryan Fitzpatrick, but James Winston is very, very smart. In fact, I've heard his recall is absolutely amazing. So we're going to see what happens here. Yes, there's the move. I just saw it, guys. I saw it. Checkmate. James Winston starts today.
So we don't have the Marshawn Lynch clip in there too.
Yeah, it was really.
It was unbelievable what he was saying. It was pretty cool. What do you say about Lynch? Like,
we
look out if you're on.
Well, first off, we had him having Fitzpatrick and Winston playing chess pregame to see who was the quarterback for the Buccaneers versus the Bills that day. And then the other storyline was we had him start the first half as an Oakland Raider and then come out at halftime dressed in a Bills jersey like he switched teams at halftime. And he literally played it like it was a serious Bills storyline. Absolutely amazing professional. It was so fun to have him on.
So fun. So after the 5-0 run, we then, a live show that we did at Rock Bottom, we had Nate Oates. Awesome interview. You did it with me. The guy's just so brutally honest about everything. You could literally ask the guy anything.
On air, off air, it's the same exact human you're talking to.
Yep.
Like, amazing.
So,
vote on Grand Island.
Yeah, that's a big reason why.
That's why he's staying in Buffalo for the next 100 years, because he's had that.
He told Pitt, I've got the boat on Grand Island. I can't come to you yet.
Do you think we can get on that boat this summer? Is that
live show on the boat.
Live show on the boat.
There you go.
That needs to be done this summer for sure.
Just no shot.
All right, Maniac. So Maniac, then what happens? 2018 rolls around. The Buffalo Bills.
2018, we started putting on our serious pants.
Yeah.
Okay, Bills clinch playoffs for the first time. Trainwreck Sports, a drought didn't even exist at Trainwreck Sports. It was the first year we were in the playoffs. There we go.
January 7th.
So we go to Jacksonville, we're covering that. All of a sudden, we're covering events that aren't even Buffalo-centric. We're hosting parties at Grandma Mora's for the AFC Championship, which is Jaguars Patriots. Our fans, our loyal passengers, they packed that place out. It was going nuts. Literally, Vinny behind the bar was like, I need relief, because, there's so many drinks are going out and everything. It was insane. Got that going on. We're doing all kinds of stories, and then basically what it did, we put our journalism pants on. We started legitimately getting into the industry, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, on Buffalo's top sports outlet, WGR 550, Al is breaking news.
This call from Alex, who has his thoughts on UB hoops this year. Alex, what's going on, man?
Ryan, how you doing tonight? First thing, I want to introduce myself. One, because you follow me on Twitter. This is Degenerate Al from Trainwreck Sports.
Oh, Degenerate Al, you were the Ric Flair caller that got really. I think you put me on the map.
You heard that?
Yeah, I don't really know. My Twitter was blowing up that night as well. But first of all, I know we're talking about UB basketball. I gotta say something real quick. I'm not sure if you guys have heard the news, and to be quite honest, I'm kind of rattled right now. Alan Green is headed to Auburn to be the next athletic director for them.
Really?
Yeah, the news literally just broke. Sources, I got a close source inside UB. Just told me the news, and it's all over Twitter. Check it out, but Alan Green is heading to Auburn.
All right, well, that's good to know, because that is something that...
He's just typing frantically at his computer right now.
Yeah, it's just coming down. I'm seeing it up on Twitter.
So the story behind this is, I'm driving down Transit Road. GR's like, okay, we'll put you on.
You were already on the line. That's the thing. Like, you jumped on before you had the goods.
Yeah, so it was like 10, 15 minutes before I get home. And you remember, they're like, after UB, they're like, let's talk about the Bonnies. Let's talk about Canisius. And I'm like, Jesus. And then we get the news. And they go to commercial. I'm like, oh my God, give me the chance to break this news. But then they come back on. They come back on the air, and they didn't talk about it. Which is like, I mean, if you're GR, how are they not getting that? Like, how are we getting that first? You know what I mean? Like, what's that intern doing?
Clearly, our sources are true blue. That's all I know when I think about it that way.
So, I don't know. That was an awesome night. Other live events that you talking about. How about the first ever live event we did?
Oh my God.
Rock Bottom NFL Draft 2017.
Reminds me of the junior prom. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was back at my parents' house by 11.
Complete fire hazard, but it was fun as hell. Like, any firefighter in Rock Bottom that night, like the layout of that place, just Makes no sense for how many people were like around the bar,
outside the side room.
Because we had a couple speakers, like we had these speakers, which took up some space, and then there was just people just underneath, like around every square inch of that building. So that was unbelievable.
They were calling extra workers. Extra bartenders.
Yeah, people were getting called like at like 8 p.m. Like, hey, I know you're like 3 hours into the shift that you took off, but we need you to come in. We need you to come in because this is just outrageous. They ran out of Grey Goose. Like they called up France to like get a boat with like a whole shipment of Grey Goose over.
Yeah, weren't they giving bombers away for like $3?
They
didn't realize
what was
happening.
the special that night? Grey Goose bombers 2 for 1. Buy one, get one, right?
Buy one, get one bombers. That
they never thought
disastrous for a business. So when Trainwrecks
will never happen again.
No,
John, speaking of that, is this a bomber? Yes.
So the bartender texted me the next day and said, "We will never be doing Grey Goose specials for you guys again." Literally cleared them out.
We're going to Tito's, right? No, that's what they said.
Oh, that's what they
We're
said.
not going to Tito's.
No,
but that's what they said. Yeah.
And then how about another event? Jacoby Super Bowl.
Oh,
Rich Stapleton.
Rich Stapleton, our #1 fan, shows up. We're just all having a great time. And then what do we see? We saw the Patriots lose, which anyone doesn't need to be convinced to love.
Maniac's biggest prediction on Trainwreck, which is still alive, is that Brady is done. What's the current time frame? It's like 29.
Yeah. My prediction is that this season will be his last season as a starting QB in the NFL. I'm a little worried that they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. And just out of spite, and just because he's not ready to hang out with Giselle full time, he's going to go back to play football another year. He's got to be done. 2019's got his last season. I'm done.
He's going out on top, right?
Yeah, I hate to say the Bills aren't winning the Super Bowl, but I would almost be open to him winning the Super Bowl just so he can be done.
Yes.
Like, if he had won this year, I almost think he would have been done.
He's still eating, like, his avocado, like, BS ice cream.
He's on his 37th bottle of water and his 9th mouth kiss for his son.
I was going to say that. And he's getting his back rubbed in his house.
You know you were all making that joke in January. It's like factual. I'm not like being mean.
That was a big topic on our show for what, 2 or 3 shows. People were asking us about
that was for a month straight.
It was pretty bad. So how about let's start talking about some of the top train wreck moments all time. I know you have a #1.
Which one? What's that? What's my #1?
Producer Bers on a little bit of a
Oh
road
my
trip.
god! So we're in Nashville, and like at this point, to say we had no idea what we're doing is just beyond complimentary. We literally might as well have had our head up our asses like 24/7 while we were in Nashville. We're coming live down to do the show at McNamara's Irish Pub. We haven't even done shows in Buffalo yet. We're doing shows in Nashville. Like, that makes any sense.
And how quick of a trip, I mean...
Oh, literally. So we leave on a Saturday morning, and we're there a Saturday night, and we're doing the show Sunday, and then we come back Sunday night. So Al can make it to M&T in the morning, because he didn't have any vacation days that
Well,
yet.
the ride went quick for you. It went quick for you.
Controversy! Oh, Al, I forgot that. Huh? Wow, there's some loyalists.
The ride went quick for you, because I'm pretty sure you bet every single English Premier League game, and then bet every single college football game.
Oh, I forgot about
and then
that.
you were sprinkled in prop bets because you ran out of like the sheet of like what you could bet. So you were just locked in. You were just refreshing pages.
USC money line.
USC money line is one of your most infamous bets for sure.
And Saturday night. Wait, time out real quick.
Oh no!
Saturday night.
Don't tell me.
I'm gonna say it.
Don't tell that
Saturday
story.
night.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Saturday night.
Don't do it.
Maniac hops in the Uber with flip flops, and I'm like, dude, I don't think that's gonna fly here in Nashville. And he ends up wearing Topher shoes.
So I run back to the room because Al's like, you can just borrow my shoes because like I'm an idiot. I forgot to pack shoes. I only packed flip-flops for Nashville. I just throw on shoes. I'm like, wow, these are really tight. Like I run out to the Uber and they're Topher shoes, which are like, I'm just like basically, I'm a very
small guy.
terrible.
Very small.
I mean, yeah, you're a big foot.
Not to be negative, Toph. Yeah, I'm a big foot.
So go on.
We're doing the show on Sunday. Again, still no idea what we're doing. Al and I and Topher are just schmoozing it up with like the bar manager. We're like, oh yeah, we're gonna put on like a great show. Oh my god, we average hundreds of people up in Buffalo. Oh, it's the best. It's an ultimate time. We come back to like the sound setup and everything. Poor producer Bers is just like 3 feet deep in his own sweat, just like we need to get this set up. I've never seen
like
anyone as frazzled.
working with the owner.
Yeah, the owner comes over. The owner, every bar owner in Nashville apparently can hook up like an audio system because there's so many performers there. But in the end, producer B gets it done, and Sweaty Bers in Nashville pays the dividends.
Zay Jones didn't get it done though. That's the game
No,
that
he
he
did not,
dropped the pass.
Al with the.
The GIF?
I remember.
Okay.
That was horrible.
Andre Holmes offensive pass interference.
What was the final score? What was the final score of that game?
10-6.
10-3, I think.
Or 10...
6-3?
No, 9-3. 9-3. 9-3.
I do.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we're talking.
Oh yeah, it's right by.
Oh yeah, it's right there. Oh, there's no score.
Oh, there's no
score.
score. That would have been really embarrassing.
You had quite a bit. You didn't have the scores.
9-3, but you know what? They were playing against now Bill Star Lolo Tule, and it's gonna be a huge year in 2018 for the Bills.
So any other big train wreck moments, both of you guys? Anything
So
you can think
my
of?
personal
Fans,
favorite-
anything you can think of too.
My personal favorite. He's in the house right now, tucked. We were standing behind this bar. Brad Ryder was on the couch with UL.
Yep.
And it's a famous GIF now. And GIF,
GIF or
whatever.
GIF? What is it?
GIF.
Katie Stewart, what is it? GIF or GIF?
Yes.
GIF.
GIF.
Thank you. Okay.
Famous GIF. Yeah. The guy who invented
The real
GIF.
dilemma is the guy who invented it says it's shit.
Yeah, which makes no sense. Whatever.
It's
All right,
GIF when you
famous
go-
GIF. Talk. I have like the worst cold. It's like when the weather first starts changing. I just start coughing like profusely, and I cough him off the screen. Like he literally came all the way over here. He's where Dom's standing right now. Cough him off the screen, and then for some reason I got possessed, and I'm like, let me just really end this kid's show. And I coughed on his mic, and he did not want to stand back in the screen and talk into his microphone. I don't think he said another word the rest of the show.
He was very upset with you.
Yeah, no, he still is. Look, he's standing all the way over there.
Yeah.
He'd be here right now if I didn't cough on his mic. So I kind of ruined that, but I don't know. It happens. That's my personal favorite moment for myself.
I mean, what about the tale of Jonah Javad? The office scene?
Yeah, I mean, this is the tale of Jonah Javad.
Ooh. So we started writing that thing like 3 days prior. Like we probably spent like 4.
That was the most work Trainwreck Sports has put into anything. Literally. Not even making
How
that
many
up.
times did we run through it before the show?
Oh, we were doing like 6 rehearsals, different choreography.
And then we sing it, and then he checks his email, and then
check his
he
phone.
moves to Dallas.
Who are these freaks? Like,
Yeah, he's like, oh god, let me.
We have a feeling that it was during the Trainwreck Sports episode he officially accepted the offer to Dallas.
Yeah, he's like-
I'm done with Buffalo. If this is what I got to look forward to, I'm out.
He sang the song, and then he made sure his email sending his resume to whatever station he's at in Texas actually went through. So I guess you could say, listen, a lot of our live shows too. You were talking about the 5-0 streaks. I made a quick note of like the worst Buffalo sports moments.
the highs and lows of Buffalo sports over the past year and a half.
I would say there's like an 0-5 streak. When we do live shows, a lot of bad stuff happens. So just a couple here. We got the Zay Jones drop in Nashville. That was horrible. Bers is just drowning in his sweat, like redder than this cup.
Yep. Oh, I remember. Yep. You asked for that.
A double shot was clutch.
Grandma Mora's, the Peterman game, the famous Peterman game.
Great crowd.
Amazing
Crowd
crowd.
was lit.
Score was like 1,000,000 about 5 minutes into their first taco.
It was like a Justin Bieber concert in there.
And then what were you gonna say? You were just listing one?
No, so St. Peterman. That's the
Yeah, Peterman was the worst. This wasn't a live show, but the Anthony Lynn Jets game. That was my first ever
our
show.
show after that. That was your first ever show?
Yeah, and
That was only like
Really?
my 3rd show at that point.
they scored the touchdown on the kickoff,
Yep.
and it was just like, all right, Rex, like this team that you just left and got fired from is in shambles.
Yeah, Mike
And then
Gillisley doesn't know the rules of football.
And then the Sabres just like, maybe you could blame us for the Sabres just being perpetually awful and not getting any better.
It is kind of our fault. I was thinking I didn't really play well enough during the Sabres season. I really messed up.
So some of the highs. End of the drought. UB's big win over Arizona.
The fact that UB and Cuse both made it to the round of 32 when the season started is insane. Think about that.
Q should not have been in the tournament.
Cuse should always be in the tournament. It should be like an automatic bid. Like, here you go, Boeheim. You're in the tournament again.
They were
They
supposed
won a
to.
bunch of games. They won a bunch of games.
They were the last 4 out.
Yeah, and they won a bunch of
And
games.
Arizona
And then
State
they-
last 4 out. They got in too.
And then
Did UB beat a top 15 team at home? I must have missed when that happened.
Yeah, they beat like
No one wants to play an alumni. Cuse won't even come play an alumni.
Nobody wants to come to a live.
No,
yeah.
not after a
Yeah, you
couple-
might have to face like 4,000 fans.
All right, other highlights from Trainwreck.
Oh, let's get it up. Let's get a little louder. You're not even passionate about your UB. That same crowd that's letting opposing teams come in there and dominate.
This was supposed to be the positive
Is UB
part.
naked guy here?
Where is
He's
UB
not here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, can you imagine?
This is like an Austin Powers 3 when he looks to his dad's seat and Nigel Powers is not there.
All right,
It's a little disappointing.
Last 2 years, couple other big moments in Buffalo. Uber coming to Buffalo.
Large.
That's huge. Joe Licata can go to Valley in an Uber.
Remember the first Uber?
Yeah, you showed up. Howard, yeah.
Howard, your house.
Yep. And
He's
then
coming.
Encore.
Encore being sold.
Bye-bye. Even though it's still there, but just under different owners.
We've had a few words, right, Bers, about Encore on our show.
I forgot about our anywhere but Encore movement. Like, just go anywhere but Encore.
Ask-
Like, where are you going tonight? Anywhere but Encore?
Ask
Great.
Bro Jackson started that.
ABE.
Abe.
All right, you know what? Can we get Diesel up here?
Get him up
Diesel,
here.
get up here.
Deez.
Come on.
He sunk into that couch.
Get him in here. You slide this way.
Wrong bomber.
Diesel, the first night you were with Doug Allen, you were with us at Washington Square.
Yeah, I remember that night.
You remember that night?
Yes.
It was awesome.
It was cool.
What does this train mean to you? I know you're all about it. I get a train emoji from you, what, once a week?
Yeah, I just think what you guys do is pretty awesome. You get people interested in sports, and you guys have a lot of energy, and you know, I just like what you guys do.
Now, what about that lock? Remember the Lockport TV gig? Is that still gonna happen? You know what I'm talking about?
You're putting me on the bubble on this one.
It's okay. Listen,
yeah,
we're all friends here. We're all friends here.
Yeah,
Where's Maniac?
I looked into that. I don't know. I don't know for sure, you know, if that's gonna happen, but I think you guys, you know, got to keep pushing forward and you know, getting yourselves out there more. And you know, this is one event that helps. You know, the more people you get exposed to, or more, you know, information you get out to people, the better. But I'm, you know, your number one backer. You guys really,
Dude,
you guys really bring energy. You get, you know, people believing in stuff, and you know, our sports teams in this town aren't the best, so you guys do a good job just giving information out to people and getting people interested.
You're one of our biggest fans of UB games. You're in the student section with us. We're all not students anymore. We're still going in the student section, and you're leading the crowd with us.
I don't know. You guys are just, you know, it's contagious. I like, you know, hanging out with you guys, just doing stuff. You know, you guys make it fun. Get your mind off every day.
Don, pour him a bomber. You had a bomber ready to go.
Positive energy. Train never stops.
You better get an Uber for me, man, because I'll start. Yeah. You better get an Uber.
Oh, party's starting really soon. Doug, let's go. Let's get Doug Allen up here. Thank you, Diesel.
Hey,
thank
man,
you.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Diesel.
Johnny.
Dougie.
Doug, real quick, I'm gonna ask you: have you ever done an event like this before?
Not quite like this.
What's different about this event?
Well, there's a much bigger audience and
Larger
you're
crowd than
actually-
he's used to.
You're actually live. What I did before on a podcast was pre-recorded.
So tell us about your website. Like, how can people find you?
People can find me at my website. The name is pretty simple, anthemguy.com. Somebody said, is that handsomeguy.com? No.
Come on, that's implied, obviously.
Yeah, well, it's implied. So, yeah, anthemguy.com. A quick little bio on there, but there's a contact form on there which you can fill out if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to book me for a wedding reception or bar mitzvah or backyard Olympics, whatever you need.
All right. So real quick, gotta ask you, 'cause, I mean, Topher is. It's happening. It's happening.
Get closer.
No. Listen, we're open. So when did you start shaving? Just fully, get out, get rid of it.
Yeah, I got fed up probably like early 2000s.
Early 2000s. So you were in your late teens, early 20s.
That's nice. No,
So you're
in
saying
my 40s.
you shaved your head in the early 2000s. Was Sean Paul a huge influence for you in that regard?
No.
Okay. It wasn't the right temperature for shaving my head all night. No. Hey, all right, it was all right. It wasn't that terrible.
You have any questions for Doug? No?
Just keep up looking great with what we got going here.
Hey.
We got Maniac here just showing off with like.
Well, I'm overcompensating. Clearly, you know, I'm carrying the team with the hair here. We'll get her in studio for a cut.
Yeah, we'll get Jesse back.
You get Jesse per cut. Now, Doug, I've done a little reading.
Yep.
You do a little singing, I do a little reading. You know, both of our fortes. Done some extensive work with Catholic charities, I want to say?
No.
Okay, no, not at all. Completely wrong. You heard it first here on Trainwreck Sports. What work have you done philanthropy-wise?
My full-time job, I work for City Mission.
City Mission. See, completely wrong. Literally like saying like someone worked for Citibank and they work for KeyBank.
City Mission. I'm right now. I'm the facilities manager at City Mission. I'm in charge of our 3 facilities and making sure that the maintenance gets done, housekeeping, and that kind of stuff.
Could you think of a better guy to make sure a job gets done than Doug? We've all been to a Sabres game. We know that anthem gets done perfectly every single time.
Every time.
If he's not pointing at me, I'm going home. I'm going home before I even see the game. Better be. So, yeah.
Wait, when did the point start?
When did the point start? I can't tell you exactly when, but I'm thinking it was probably like late 90s, somewhere around there.
Okay. And how long have you been doing Sabres games for?
I started, my first game was in the 92-93 season. So it's been a long time.
92, 93.
I didn't become the principal until after the lock.
How many people were?
Okay, so I gotta ask you too.
Oh man.
For Sabres games right now, do you stay for every game? Like, do you do the anthem and stay, or do you leave? I mean,
I will stay for the first period at least.
and with this team right now, I mean, there's no point to stay, right?
I still enjoy watching them.
Okay.
But I've always said that I need to go home and be a dad more than I need to watch 30 hockey games a year. Because that's about how many games I get to do.
You do 30?
But
Okay.
yeah, I need to stay for that first period. People ask me about what I think, what's happening, and so I need to be able to talk intelligently about it.
Where do you sit?
I don't have a seat. My credentials allow me to go pretty much anywhere, but I stand in aisle 15. There's a big handicap area there, and so that I don't bother anybody. And so I stand there and watch, and if we score, it's right in front of me then.
In the first period, okay, we're Sabres shoot twice.
You're obviously revered by the crowd. You know what you're doing out there. The anthem, you have it down pat. You can do it in your sleep. Have you ever thought about expanding the repertoire? Maybe like lowering yourself from the roof, like ceiling.
I have offered that actually.
Think about it.
I didn't take me up on it.
Honestly, I think this is a brand Doug Allen that we have to build, continue to enlarge, and basically, it never stops with Doug Allen.
There you go.
Doug, any more questions for Doug?
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. All right, Scotty. Go.
Scotty.
So Scott Goodwin was what? How many episodes of Trainwreck Sports were you on? The first couple?
The last one I remember doing, we were over in Cleveland and doing one directly from Andy Olson's apartment. And
Shout out to Andy Olson too.
He was a web guy at that time. He put
Yeah.
everything online.
Yep, he was all the back end stuff.
I feel like you were part of a couple Ask Bro Jackson episodes, right? That's a
I think
throwback.
I missed a couple of them, but I remember like always trying to like hit Reddit or any type of like insightful type of post to like really throw him off guard. Anything that I could find that would cause Bro Jackson some trouble, that was the goal. So I always tried to contribute to those, but I don't think I was a part of any of them.
So can you explain to the people like what the scene was like at producer Bers' house?
Oh,
That's what people
we're at
don't realize.
producer Bers' house. We were laptops like on the, what do you call that, like the tail fin of a vehicle. Like everything was like off guard, it was sideways, like we did everything that we could to just make sure that we had like some type of stability on like laptops or whatever we had to research. Super disorganized. I mean, we went from the back porch to the garage. I mean, that's really the ground level that we started from, and that's probably what I'm most proud of, being at those like first 5 episodes.
How about the walls in producer Burr's bedroom? Like you can't even see him because
did
there's
not
so
make
much
it to the
memorabilia.
bedroom. I have no recollection of what Bers' house looks like on the interior. I'm all exterior. All exterior.
All exterior.
Scotty Goodwin, does this train ever stop?
Never ever. Never ever.
From the beginning. Thank you, bro.
Got it.
NHL Insider, let's go.
Alright, we need our NHL Insider. Do Tristan and I still have beef? Honestly, do you remember when we remember that?
A little bit.
I was like, dying.
Take the mic.
I'm like, my favorite Sabres teams were like the 05, 06, 07. You've only been a fan for a decade.
You definitely had beef.
What are you gonna say about that?
Definitely had beef.
I got nothing.
Wow. All right, so we're like Wendy's. Where's the beef? It's not anywhere. We're good.
I think we're all good.
All right, fine. I'll take it.
How happy are you that the Sabres season's like officially, as of what time is it right now? Click on the phone.
9
Is the game over? Is the game
April
over?
7th.
So I've been upset for probably, I'd say, since the beginning of October, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I think the season's ended before it even started. So
Are you gonna rest a little easier now, knowing that like the games are over at least? Like maybe they're like the next 2 weeks at least. There's still a shot with the lottery.
I was gonna say, I think what it comes down to is right now I'm in a little bit of a I'm on the automated the simulator for the lottery, clicking it like 1,000 times a day just to see how many times it lands on the Sabres. So once the lottery is over, that could be even more hell than anything. So I guess we'll see.
Are we like? Is this like another horrible season if we don't get Dahlin? Like,
Number 4.
I think next year's our year.
For sure. Guaranteed.
if it's Dahlin,
Party
maybe
in the
if
Plaza's all year. Party in the Plaza's all year.
Can you imagine?
In December, party in the Plaza.
that is such a big weekend in Buffalo sports. A chance to get that franchise quarterback, and then if we get that #1 pick 2 days later,
Let's not get carried away though. We probably know what's gonna happen.
yeah, it's gonna be like 6, 5,
4.
4 Buffalo Sabres, and it's just same thing with McDavid.
50% chance.
There's some good pieces in there. Casey Middlestat scores his first goal yesterday. There's some interesting things going on. We got a goaltending switch coming up this year, so I'm not optimistic because I've said that for the past 5-6 years now, but we're here. We're Buffalo fans.
The coach of the Sabres, 48 hours ago, said it was an invaluable experience that these young players could gain by playing down in Tampa Bay. They scored. Nylander and Middlestat both scored. Is that really going to count as something going towards next season, or is that all hullabaloo?
Against a team that's going for like the 1 seed in Tampa.
I think Middlestat's goal was an awesome shot on the power play. It was a beautiful play. I think Nylander fell and just happened to swing his stick in the right spot, and it turned into a goal. So I have really great hopes for Middlestat. I don't have a ton of hope for Nylander, personally.
Marty Perron said like the exact opposite. He's like, that was the greatest tip I've ever seen. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing, like where he was putting it, like on the ice to like throw off Vasilevsky. Like,
I've never played pro hockey, so I'm sitting there drinking a beer like, what a loser. Sick tip. but I'm watching Middlestat's goal like, all right, this kid's got some talent. But I see Nylander's and I'm like, bum.
I mean, realistically though, like Nylander, he's gotten like 20-something points in Rochester this year. But what are your expectations for him? Because he hasn't really done too much as like an 8th overall pick.
I think he's a big finesse player. I think we missed out that draft year because right after him, I believe Charlie McAvoy went, who is doing unreal things for the Boston Bruins.
He's like a critical piece of that team.
He's a critical piece of that team. So what I'm thinking is, I like Nylander, I like the finesse, I like the fact that he has overall skill. If he can turn into his brother and become a playmaker as well as a scorer, it could be a game changer, but time will tell. He's young. He's still, how old is Nylander? He's 20, he might be 20 on the dot, 20 or 21.
He's barely old enough to go to Canada, Clifton Hill.
All right, so I'm sorry, but I see your wife texting, not even paying attention to you. So it's time for Katie Stewart. It's sad. I feel bad for you.
Body.
Thank you, bro. We'll have you back on. Katie Stewart, get up here.
I'm glad our beef's over.
Katie Stewart, episode 2, Bachelor Talk, but that's what I'm saying, Celery Talk. But real quick, so tell us what's going on with Celery. He got his first big win. What's happening with Celery this year?
Celery's gone.
But are you sure? There's rumors.
100%. I voted pierogi to join the race, personally. But
a pierogi with like a bunch of wings and like blue cheese?
Yeah.
Good God.
Polish pride.
I was saying, Polish
Exactly, yeah. I'm talking to the Queen of Dingus Day. Of course I
know. The Queen of Dingus Day, you really are.
Quad.
So you're saying Celery is 0% gone?
I think Celery will be around, just not anymore. The marketing department, done with them.
I feel like Celery's kind of like a Ric Flair of the Bisons. Like, he retired but he's still hanging around the organization. He's still like working out every day he can, limbering up those like quads, you know, making sure he's ready to go just in case, you know, he's needed for a race. I feel like when the time really comes, the Bisons are gonna pull the trigger and Celery's
That
gonna
was
be
my
back.
favorite memory though. Celery Day, amazing. Like if you see Channel 7's coverage of the Celery race, you can see Trainwreck Sports just throwing celery onto the field. Like
So we all had our celery.
We almost got kicked out. It
We
was
walked
amazing.
out to the first row, and the final video of him going through the whatever, just celery just getting
Yeah,
launched.
everywhere. I think we were in every section that night trying to find like 7 seats together because we all thought we could get anywhere.
But that's how bad Buffalo
It's
Sports
amazing.
needed a victory. They sold the place out. 15,000 tickets to
It was
a
insane.
celery game. Like it's just unbelievable what fans in Buffalo will do.
Pete Weber from Nashville was like at the game.
Oh,
Like,
we
he's
saw
like,
Pete.
he's like, yeah, I came up from Nashville. I mean, Celery's gonna get a victory. Might as well came up.
That's a nice stock. That's a nice stock.
Real nice stuff.
His head's like tilted.
The camera comes up from like Ethan's shoes up to like his head, and he's just like, "That's a nice stock."
I mean, the interviews outside the field.
Dinner at Washington Square.
Dinner at Washington Square.
It's insane.
Washington Square. We're gonna be there soon, right?
Yeah, isn't it? Wait, 2 Thursdays from now?
2 more Thursdays. 2 more Thursdays. $3 well drinks, $3 bottled beers, and
$25 double wings and pitcher of domestic beer. Can't beat the deals. Can't beat the atmosphere. Make sure you're at the Square for the NFL draft.
So, Katie, what do you feel about this train? I mean, you were at Brick Bar last night. You were fired up. The wrecking crew is in the house.
Some of the wrecking crew is in the house.
How long did it take me to get a drink?
It honestly took Topher 45 minutes to get served. It was sad, but I watched the whole time.
I'm,
It didn't
I'm
even
a
help.
small guy. Again, like I get bodied out of the way
I'll
like
teach you.
very easily.
It's fine.
All right.
Real quick, one of your other memories of Trainwreck Sports later from your original appearance in Celebration, an appearance as the original Trainwreck Bachelor. Speak
Yes.
a little bit to your experience, or Bachelorette. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit to your experience in that regard.
Bachelor, Bachelorette.
No, that was with Sal.
With Sal,
Yeah,
Trainwreck
I made my
Bachelorette.
choice. Who did I think? Did I pick Maniac?
Yeah, you picked Maniac, but then I
Sent
picked
Topher home.
It was like a twist.
This season was a twist.
Of course.
It
yeah.
was a twist.
Kind of set an example
So,
for this season.
yeah.
Honestly.
What, Ari or Ari?
Ari
Aries.
picking Becca and then going home. It was, I don't want to talk about it. And then the Bachelorette games were just terrible. Everyone broke up. I'm not in a good place right now, but it's been a rough 24 hours. But good news is I've seen a lot of backstage stuff for the current Bachelorette. Becca's doing awesome. She's at a brewery tonight. So
And what's that show with like the island and the beach?
Paradise. Bachelor in Paradise.
Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, that's after. That's not for a really long time. We got Dancing with the Stars, then The Bachelorette, then Bachelor.
I don't want to get into it at length, but isn't Bachelor in Paradise the one that had all the
rejects,
the bad stuff last time, the lawsuits and the stuff?
It wasn't even a lawsuit. It's we're not. That's another episode.
Okay.
Love without lawsuits, people. It can happen.
I mean, what's the divorce rate? 50-50? It's a 50-50 chance, folks. That's all we got. Sorry. Alright. Katie, thank you very much. Thanks for coming up. If you need a goose bomber, go to Dom. You know what? You're right. Talk it up here.
Get him up here.
Final person talk. Let's go.
Get tucked. I want to sit next to Tucked.
Talked. What's going on?
Tucked, what are your thoughts on Kyle Williams?
You're going next to me. Okay.
All right.
What are your thoughts on Kyle Williams? Just get in the camera. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna Kyle Williams, best Buffalo player we've ever seen. All the heart. Yeah. All the heart.
I know you love him more than anything, so.
Yes. All the heart.
So
two questions for you. One, when are we gonna get your mock draft? Two, will you be at the Washington Square?
Yes.
We need you.
Yes.
Schefter.
Mock draft. I was gonna tell you last second. Like last second. You gotta see everything
Perfect.
fall.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Trades.
Morning of. I would prefer morning of.
Oh yeah, we're not doing anything week out.
So talk 1.0 on like Wednesday morning. Or
I had a little, but last year's one was okay.
It had a vibe. You knew they were trading down.
Yes.
We need you at Washington Square though with like the 4 monitors like you were last year at Rock Bottom.
I'll have a laptop.
Like you need one monitor with Rappaport, one with Schefter, like one with some bullshit Reddit page that has like a bunch of rumors like.
Oh, I had literally 18 tabs open, refreshing everything.
Perfect.
Yep. That was awesome.
Yeah, you had all the news before anyone heard it, right?
Yeah, it was before the TV. I'm like, we gotta trade. And remember
So we had the mics, yeah. Everyone.
Yeah, you definitely broke the trade down news.
Oh, I'll have the whole laptop, we'll have everything going. Yep.
Large.
Perfect. Oh, wait, we got fans talking about Josh. Tucked.
Oh yeah, of course. They're pumped that their favorite.
Tucked is there.
Oh wow. Yep, we do.
McMullen in the house.
That's my aunt. Okay.
Alright, so we're good to go. Episode 100. Seriously, once again, thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you for everyone that joined in. Yeah, let's raise the glass. Let's raise the glass. Where's my glass? You drinking it? No, we're good to go. Seriously, raise the glass if you got one. This train never stops. Cheers to hopefully another 100 more. Thank you. Yeah, there we go.
Pump that up.
I like the original song though, you guys said earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not starting that argument again.
I noticed that one. That was
Good night now.